So, what is story? Your story is your main characters, your themes, your location, and your central conflict. But what makes them African? For African comics, because we are still in our infancy, the question is it the story? Is it an African story? Is it the characters that are African that make it an African story? Is it who made it? So if it's African artists and writers, that does that make it African, even if it has Caucasian or other ethnic groups as main characters? Is it the location of the story? Is it where it's published? All of these questions try to validate what it means to make an African story. Hang on, is Black Panther an African story? It has an African setting with African characters, but it is made in America, and a majority of the writers that contributed to the lore of Black Panther in terms of vibranium, the languages spoken, the symbols and the iconography used in Wakanda, um, haven't haven't been African. Sometimes they're black, and maybe there's a side story that's written by someone who is from the continent, but does that contribute to turning the whole of Black Panther into being an African comic book? On the other end of the spectrum, we have Paradox, written by T.S. Zombie, who is a Zimbabwean artist from Bulawayo. And the characters aren't black, the location isn't Zimbabwe or in Africa. And it's about serial killers. I'm not saying that they aren't black serial killers. But because he's an African writer slash artist, does that make Paradox an African story?
Is he trying to get us killed?
Hiding sucks. Let's take it on.
What do we do now?
This clown is really trying to get us killed.
The clip I just played came from this comic, Siriwatu, by Awali Comics in South Africa. The character designs, the book itself, and the publication all feel African, yes. And the summary goes, follow Diallo, Ayanda, Senzo, and Zita as they discover who they are by a destructively quirky old man bent on turning them into the descendants he believes them to be, a secret group of people silenced to the chasms of history who disappeared in exile long ago. The first 10 pages of your book should tell you everything you need to know about the kind of story you're reading. Thriller, sci-fi, romance, or at least should have some kind of indicators of the genre that you're in. As soon as you dive into Siriwatu, it is a magical adventure, battle shonen, if you want to classify it.